Welcome to season 4 of Rebirth Podcast. I'm your host, Shea Marriott. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the body and mind connection and how to heal. Tune in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Out of the ashes we will soar to a destiny we can't ignore. Heartbeats echo through the night with every dream an endless flight. Together strong, let's break the mold. Our rebirth and stories told. It's time to renew, rebuild, restore. Unlock the dreams we've been waiting for. Rise up higher, more and more. With every breath, a new dawn's roar.
Welcome to Rebirth Podcast. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Shea Marriott. And listen, we are going to be talking about healing. That is my word for 2025. If you tuned in last week, I shared with you my journey of healing, going through spine surgery and learning how to walk all over again and all of the challenges that I've had over the last couple of months. But I am renewing and rebuilding and restoring. So, again, welcome to Rebirth Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be with me tonight. If you have not done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe, but it means everything to us. All right. So, again, welcome to Rebirth Podcast. We're going to be talking about healing the body, healing our minds, because the body and mind is connected. So, one of the things that I want to mention to you guys, if you haven't done so already, have you gotten your planner? Okay. Every year I get a planner. Okay. And I schedule all the things that I want to accomplish in my year in my planner. And I also schedule time for myself. It is so important that we schedule dates for ourselves, right? And so, as you know, I always talk about I love me a massage, all right? And my favorite place to go get a massage is the Yellow Door Spa in Delaware City. So shout out to Winnie. My masseuse is Mr. Anderson Osim, and he is absolutely amazing. And no, you cannot book him because if I can't get an appointment because you guys done booked up, I'm gonna be really mad. But shout out to Winnie, shout out to Anderson. Massages is one of my favorite things to do. It's the way I practice self-care and give back to myself. So if you have not purchased your planner, go out and get you a planner. I ordered this one off of Amazon, and it's actually a 4-year planner. So I've already started writing in it, and I'm very excited about 2025. And the first thing that I wrote in my planner was the word healing. And as I talked about the healing journey last week, I talked about healing in general, no specific thing, but just overall what it means to heal and the importance of healing. But tonight I took some notes. Okay. So get used to this, guys. I'm going to have my notes with me because I always want to stay on point. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the mind and body connection. And as we move through the season, I'm going to invite some people that you've seen on the show before, like Dr. Angela Brown. She's going to be joining us. We're also going to be inviting someone to come in to talk about our spiritual healing, and we're going to be talking about healing relationships. So, again, the common word is healing. What do you need to heal? So, when we talk about the body and mind connection, one of the things I want to point out is our mental and emotional health directly impacts our physical well being. Okay. So, stress, anxiety, and trauma can manifest as physical symptoms. Trust and believe. Anxiety comes out as physical symptoms. So, some of the things that you might experience You might think you're having a heart attack or something's going on with your heart because you're having chest pains or you're having, palpitations. Um, you're hyperventilating, right? These are all things that are that's coming out physically because of where you are mentally. So healing the body involves addressing past wounds, practicing mindfulness, and fostering positive thoughts. So mindfulness, if you don't know what mindfulness is, the best way I can explain this is, have you ever been driving somewhere and you get to your destination? So let's say that you're headed to Christiana Mall and you're driving and you get to your destination. But when you think about it, you don't even remember the ride there. You don't know how many lights you went through. You don't know who pulled up beside you when you was at the light. You don't remember your ride. You're not being mindful. So being mindful is being in the moment, paying attention to what's happening in the moment. And if, believe it or not, a lot of people struggle with doing that. A lot of people struggle with staying present. Why? Because we live in a world that says that we have to do multiple things at the same time, right? So some of you might be listening to the podcast and you're driving, or you're listening to the podcast and you're making dinner, but or doing multiple other things at the same time. But being mindfulness is paying attention, being present as to what is happening in that moment. So one of the things that I'm excited about this year is we're actually going to be doing a rebirth mindfulness walk, and I'm looking to do that the top of spring. I'm excited about that because we're going to do it at the park, and I'll let you guys know when and where. It will be absolutely free for you to attend. And it's just something that I really want to do and give back to help people learn how to practice being mindful. Okay. So, another thing is listening to our body signals, right? Your body speaks to you all the time, all the time. Last week, I shared with you how I was in pain for years, but then finally, over the last few months, my body said that was it. And it put me down. I mean, down, like on the floor down, where my son had to pick me up, right? So I knew I needed to respond. And during that time, I needed to do something. I needed to make a change. So our bodies communicate when they are out of balance, through fatigue, through pain, or discomfort. Pay attention to these signals rather than ignoring and suppressing them, because it could lead to something a little bit more serious, like having spine surgery. Okay. So, regular check ins with yourselves, through rest, through journaling, through reflection, it helps identify areas that need care. So we want to make sure that we are doing these things, y'all, for 2025 and beyond. This is not just a 2025 thing, but this is, I'm starting my healing journey right now, forever, because you're constantly healing from something. Somebody asked me, they said, Shay, how do I know when my healing journey is over? How do I know that the time is done? You don't know. And you're always healing. You're always healing for something. So something that you may start it off healing from one thing, but by the time, what, 4, 5, 6 months come, you may be over that thing and now you're healing from something else. Why? Because life continues to happen, good and bad, right? So we're always in the process of healing from something. So, one of the things that's important too that we want to think about, especially with us being in a new year, is our nutrition and our nourishments, because healing starts from the inside out. Okay? It starts from the inside out. A nutrient rich diet filled with whole, unprocessed foods fuels our bodies. Okay. It's a natural healing process. Even hydration, balanced meals, and reducing inflammatory foods like sugars and processed items, it supports our cellular repair. It's healing. So when I explain about what our journey was for season 4. Remember, I said healing holistic? I'm talking about everything, everything. Movement and physical activity is the next thing I want to talk about because movement is so important. Um, any type of movement is important. It doesn't have to be any major movement, but anything, right? If you can't get out your house to really get to a gym or get to the park or walk or anything like that, put on some music and dance, right? Just dance. If you're not able to stand to your feet and dance, do a little chair dance. I've been doing my little chair dances for the last month and a half because sis can't get up and really dance like she used to, right? So I just like do a little two-step in my chair and I'm all good with it, but I'm moving and that's important. Um Movement is medicine, right? So it's regular exercise, stretching, yoga, not only strengthening the body but also releases emotional blockage. So if you ever took a yoga class, right? And you know how they have you laying down flat and they tell you to put your hand on your chakra and all of that and breathe and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All of those things. It's healing. So I told you guys that I was struggling with getting sleep when I was going through all this chronic pain and prior to my surgery. I will say post my surgery, I am sleeping a lot better. I still have moments of not feeling as comfortable, but I'm working through that. And again, I'm healing, but rest and recovery is it's important. The quality of sleep, relaxation, and setting boundaries around work and obligation gives the body time to recover. Okay. So that's going to be very important. And when we're talking about setting boundaries, which we're going to be talking about probably in the next couple episodes, it's not just about setting boundaries with others, but also with yourself, setting boundaries with yourself. Being able to prioritize sleep hygiene by creating a calm tech-free environment before bed. Now, I know, like me, many of you are probably scrolling through your phones when it's time to go to bed, trying to relax and you scroll through your phones. Well, I do. I have this thing where I go on Instagram and I'm very much into decor. I love creating beautiful spaces in my home where I can reflect, I can meditate, I can practice mindfulness, I could just be, right? So I'm hooked on these little videos, these reels that um influencers are posting in regards to their homes and the different things that they do to their homes, whether it's outdoor or inside their homes. And that's relaxing for me. And believe it or not, I actually go to sleep. I will fall asleep after watching those videos. But sometimes we do need to pull away and we need to put our phones down and really just get off the grid and disconnect, especially before going to bed. So the next thing is, and I don't know if I told you guys, I hope you guys are writing this down because it's going to be really, really important for you to take notes. So you'll be able to apply this to your life, right? Again, every episode, I want you to walk away with something, that's going to help you renew, rebuild, and restore your life. So, emotional release and trauma healing is very, very important. And we're going to actually do a show that is that will be talking more about healing trauma. But unresolved trauma can store itself in the body. Did y'all know that? It could store trauma can store itself in the body. And so there's this modality that I'm trained in. It's called EMDR, right? And with EMDR therapy, we tap on the client or the client can choose to tap themselves. And or we also do the eye movement, right? where they follow our finger or light or whatever it is that we're using. And all of this actually helps the body reprocess our trauma, right? So it's a way to empower ourselves, change the narrative of whatever that story is. We're going to put ourselves in the hero seat. We're going to change the narrative by reprocessing the trauma, so the trauma is no longer affecting us the way that it is. So there's a couple other modalities that's out there that is helpful when that tapping, but EMDR is one that I do use with my clients, as well as myself, because you can do it on yourself as well. So, again, unresolved trauma can store itself in the body. So, practice breath work, taking those deep breaths, practice meditation, and therapy always helps release tension and stored pain. So, I am pro therapy. I am a therapist myself. So, of course, I am going to encourage people to get you a therapist. Okay. It's the best thing. Everybody's doing it. Okay. If you notice the TV shows, they're all talking about mental health. They're all talking about therapy. A lot of your reality shows is actually showing parts where they have the therapist there holding sessions. So it's okay to see a therapist. It's okay to get therapy. All right. So holistic healing, again, I mentioned this last week when we were talking. Explore holistic approaches like acupuncture. I've never had acupuncture done. All right. So if you've experienced acupuncture, please let me know what your experience was. I do want to try it. I have not had it done yet. Um, Massage therapy, again, that's my go-to. I love it. I also love aromatherapy. So if you come to my house, I have these diffusers all over my house, and I also have them in my studio. And I love aromatherapy. I love scents that's going to make me feel good, inspire me. And I also like scents that's going to help me relax and calm me down when it's time for me to rest. Okay. So I mentioned diffusers. I mentioned different spaces that I have in my home to help me relax and help me feel good. That is building and healing environment. So what does it look like if you was to build a healing environment? What does that look like for you, right? So some of the things for me in my healing environment is candles, as you can see. Candles. I like the sound of water. So I have several water fountains in my environment, both indoor and outdoor. Um, what else do I love? I love music. I love soft jazz. Lo-fi music. I love stuff like that, meditation music, those type of things. That's my healing environment. What does your healing environment look like for you? You want to surround yourself with supportive people and calming environments. So nature, music, creativity can all play roles in bodily healing, okay? It is so important to understand that all of this plays a role in healing your body. And I will also say in healing your mind as well. Reduce toxins, both physical and emotional. Physical would be environmental chemicals, and the emotional will be negative relationships, negative people. We don't want that in 2025. All right. We don't want that. Now, all of these things that I'm sharing with you, we're down to the last two. But all of these things I'm sharing with you will not work if you are not being consistent. So I want to talk to you about the power of consistency right now. Small consistent steps leads to long-term healing. All right? Incorporating daily rituals that promote health builds momentum. So every year we always hear people say, "Oh, I'm going to be going to the gym 5 times out of the week, right? I'm going every day, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing it." You've already pretty much failed, right? Because you putting too much out there. Why start off at 5? Let's start off with something that you know you can do, because the goal is to be consistent. That's the goal, is to be consistent. So maybe start off with saying, I'm going to go to the gym 2 times a week, and be consistent with that. 2 times a week. If you know you can do 2 times a week, you can do that. We're going to commit to 2 times a week. All right. So let's do that. After you do that for about 3 weeks, maybe you can add another day on there. Now you up to 3 times a week. The importance is about being consistent. That's what's important. It's about being consistent. That's where the power is. All right. So again, create goals and commitments that you're able to be consistent with. Don't over commit to something that you already know you can't do. Stop it. Don't do that. Okay? And remember, healing is not linear. Be patient with yourself and celebrate those small victories. Okay? All right. We are at the last part of the show. And the last thing that I want to mention to you guys, I want you to really hear me when I say this. It is so important. And I'm going to lean into this mic because I need you guys to hear this. I had to learn this for myself. It is so important to have self compassion and grace. Self compassion and grace. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to continue saying it until you get it, because self compassion and grace is so important. Speak kindly to yourself and over yourself, and show your body gratitude for carrying you through life's challenges, right? I may have been aching, my back may have been a little weak and in pain, but I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, because regardless of the pain that I was in, I still was able to show up. I still was able to accomplish and do the things that I needed to do. So I thank God for my body. I thank God for the pain that I had to endure, but I also thank God for the healing of it all. So embrace the imperfections and understand that healing is an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing journey. It's not a destination. It's an ongoing journey. So if we're able to remove out of our minds that I'll be healed in 6 months, I'll be healed in a year, I'll be healed by next week. If we let go of the timestamp that we're trying to put, if we let go of the theory that healing is a destination, we will enjoy our healing journey even more. Because through this journey of healing, you are meant to learn a lot of new things, not just about yourself, but about that thing that you're healing from, about relationships, about the power of God, about the power of being consistent, right? So I challenge you to be consistent, to show yourself compassion, to reflect, to take time, to schedule time with yourself, for yourself. Take yourself out on a date, or just sit home, grab a glass of wine, and just reflect. Journal, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you are showing up for yourself in 2025. I challenge you to do that. Let your no's be no. Let your yeses be yes. And sometimes it's not even a clear no. Sometimes it's not right now. And it's okay. So I'm so excited about this healing journey that I'm on. And again, guys, every time you tune in to Rebirth Podcast, I want you guys to walk away with something new, something that is going to help you move through your week, help you be able to tap into the power that you have and that you hold inside. Everything that you need is right there. You have it. You have it. And the one thing that I want you to understand is It's okay to ask for help. Sometimes we do have to lean on someone, and that doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you strong because it takes a strong person to be able to say, I need help. It takes a strong person to do that. It takes a strong person to be able to say, I'm not well or I'm not okay. I need to heal from some things, right? So a lot of times we think that we've healed through things, but we're triggered, right? And triggers are not always bad. There's good triggers, but the things that we're not healed from, they're not good triggers. They're bad triggers. All right. So take this time, renew, rebuild, and restore. And remember that you are so worth it. You are so worth it. What would it look like this time next year if you took everything that I just said and you applied it to your life? What would it look like? The change begins with you. Don't wait for other people to change. Don't wait for other people to make it right. You make that decision for yourself. You do the right thing. You show up for you. You be consistent. You be the change that the world needs to see. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Rebirth Podcast, where you renew, rebuild, and restore. I will see you guys next Monday at 7 p.m. Have a blessed night.